Yo, what's going on guys, Vanity here, back with another tutorial. This one's going to be the first episode of my producer marketing series. I love music and I've been producing and creating it for the last 8 years of my life, both inside and outside of educational establishments. In this time, I've been an artist releasing my own electronic records, signed to various independent record labels, and I've spoken to hundreds of producers and artists alike, both in person and digitally. The one question I've always asked is, what do you find the biggest struggle in your career? The answer is always some rendition of making money or building an audience. The latter is the first step in achieving the former. The reason this is one of the biggest issues among artists is because of a lack of knowledge when it comes to marketing their music and themselves. My hope is that I can perhaps amend the small number of artists and producers' marketing strategy who may be listening to this so that they can reach, build and communicate with a bigger audience and share their musical ability. Once the audience has been cultivated, it can be leveraged into creating sales and creating income. Perhaps even if done correctly, it can give them the financial freedom to make music their full-time career. What artist or music producer would not want that? The first question you need to be asking yourself is, if you're not on social platforms daily, sourcing new supporters for your brand, posting new updates, why? Never has it been easier to start an online business than in the information age we are currently living in. Most of the tools out there are even free to use. It is important, however, to go deep and not wide. What I mean by that is you pick 4 or 5 social platforms and use them daily and use them natively. Why are you posting links to your YouTube videos on Facebook? Why aren't you using Facebook video? The same goes for Twitter. Learn each platform and go deep on them. For me, the platforms I use daily are Twitter, Snapchat and Instagram. I have profiles on other platforms, obviously YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook among others, and keep them updated, but they are not used daily. I'm not going to lie to you either, it is hard to produce that much content, especially if you have families, you work long hours, or any other commitments that eat up your time. There are tools to help with this, such as Buffer. Buffer allows you to schedule Facebook and Twitter and now Instagram updates ahead of time to be auto-posted at a time of your choice. For example, you could have them scheduled to post when the biggest amount of your audience is online. You really do have to leverage every second to create some content if you want to win on social media in 2016 and beyond. But rather than just giving you some rah-rah advice or my opinions mixed with some statistics, I want to give you some solid instructions or even a plan to follow to actually build up a huge following on social media, which can then be leveraged against whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Remember the 80-20 rule in marketing. 80% of your content should be around your audience's interests, and the other 20% should be posts about your products, services, or music. More on this later. So I've put together a little 3-step plan for you, which you can download as a PDF below, but I'm also going to go through it now. So step 1, decide on your platforms and use them natively. Choose the social platforms that will allow you to reach your target audience. Find out where your customers are hanging out online. What are their digital habits? Put yourself in the mind of the customer and find out what makes them tick. It will take a lot of trial and error, but once you have a formula that works and gives you the highest ROI, you can then leverage the audience into buying your products. Because the end goal is to make sales, right? Why do so many people post YouTube links on Facebook or Twitter? Or use all the social media channels to link to a YouTube video? They don't understand the platforms they're using. I'll hold up my hands and admit that I fell into this trap. I thought my views on YouTube videos were important when in fact they don't mean shit. Money talks, but so does legacy. Here is a real world example. Posting YouTube video links on my Facebook page reached around 50 of my supporters. Now bearing in mind I have almost 5,000 likes on that page, that's a pretty terrible ROI. Facebook videos on the other hand were reaching around 1,500 people. Now that's a pretty big difference just for understanding how Facebook works. Step 2. Decide on your content and post on all platforms consistently. Notice I didn't say post daily. Not all platforms need daily posts, such as Instagram or YouTube. Some may even work better with more than one post per day, such as Snapchat, Twitter and Facebook. Occasionally posting on your channels will not work. If you're not consistent with your posting schedule, you won't get anywhere. The famous quote from Jim Rohn comes to mind: motivation is what gets you started, habit is what keeps you going. I touched on this before, but the goal of your updates should be somewhere close to 80-20. Think about what your customers are interested in outside of the product or service you are selling, and design your posts around that. This should be 80% of your content, whether this is funny memes, motivational quotes or images, news updates, interesting articles, or infographics you came across online. The 20% should be updates about your products. This could be to introduce a new product you've released or that you're running some kind of sale. Find or design your own unique content. This could be any of the above examples, with your company's logo watermark on an image if this is one you have created. Don't just steal other people's images and claim them as your own, always give credit. If you do decide to create your own content with your watermark feature on, every time it is shared, it's going to increase your brand awareness. Learn the language of each platform. I see too many brands using material created for one platform, throwing it up on another, and then are surprised when they don't get any engagement. Real world example. I see music producers and artists screen capturing a YouTube video on their mobile device and uploading it to Instagram with the text URL in the post. Two things are extremely wrong with this. The first being that Instagram is a place for gorgeous art and photography, not for cheap image content. The second is that URLs don't link out on Instagram. You can't click a URL and be taken to a page. Do you really think people are going to sit there and type out a YouTube link? When's the last time you typed out a full YouTube URL? If you don't make your call to actions as easy to understand as possible, you've lost. People are busy and are usually just scanning through their social feeds throughout their day when they have a spare few minutes. Bear this in mind when creating content. Now, a perfect content post within the 20% of your updates should include all of the following. The call to action should be as simple and easy to understand. They are produced for mobile devices, but also remain fully functional on laptops and computers. The content speaks the language of the platform. A quote from Gary Vaynerchuk comes to mind. Great marketing is all about telling your story in such a way that compels people to buy what you're selling. And finally, step 3. Put yourself in the mind of your potential customer. Adapt to potential customers' social media habits and routines. Where do they hang out digitally? What Facebook groups are they part of? What hashtags do they use or search on Instagram and Twitter regularly? This is the kind of information you need to be cultivating to learn about your clients. Only then can you speak their language and sell them your product. Design your website landing page around your customers. It should be simple, clear and easy to use. Put yourself in the mind of your clients and ask yourself, how could I make this website run more efficiently and effectively? To take this one step further, you could post in Facebook groups, forums and in subreddits, asking for users to review and provide feedback on your website. You have less than 0.2 of a second for an online visitor to form a first opinion of your brand. You need to make sure it's a good one. Remember, social media is a conversation, not a shouting match. Use hashtags on Twitter and Instagram to search for potential clients and engage in a conversation. But don't just drop a link to your tracks or products. Actually join in on the conversation. Once people see an artist or producer joining in on a conversation with an actual thought out response, they're more likely to click on your profile and check out who you are. Follow all these steps above and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Now, I have got a couple of important final notes. There are new social platforms being released all the time. If you're not staying up to date with the current platforms and learn how they can be leveraged to build your own brand, you're going to be lost in the past. It takes time and a whole lot of hustle. On average, it can take between 1 to 3 years for a startup to turn a profit. Most businesses even lose money in the first year. Now, this quote from Gary Vaynerchuk perfectly sums up what it takes to start and build a successful business. When starting a new business, be prepared to sacrifice. The minute you decide to launch a new business, you also make the decision to do nothing else but that for the next year and maybe even 2 years. Every minute of every 18-hour day should be dedicated to this endeavour. Your business success will come at the expense of family time, friend time, vacations, and any other hobbies or activities you once enjoyed. The business has to be your entire life, or it will die. Alright guys, that's it for the first episode. The next one's going to be, I think, on Facebook, and then I might do an episode on Twitter, Snapchat and Instagram, you know, all the separate videos, because there's so much content to cover in each one. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any suggestions for future videos in the comments below. I'm actually really enjoying doing this marketing series because it has been something I've been studying for a long time. So I hope you guys have all got a lot out of this. Thanks for watching and thanks for supporting as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.